Happy Wednesday night. Desi will be joining in a few minutes, but tonight we're discussing Next of Kin by Hannah Bonam-Young. So we have done chapters 1 to 11 last week. And then this week we are discussing 12 to 22. And then next week we'll actually be doing the what is left. So we're going to be doing 23 through, I think it's 40. So a little bit longer, so we can make sure that we end it in January to start February's book on time, I think. Yeah, 42. And then there's 2 epilogues. So it's going to be about 20 chapters for next week, but they're short chapters, so hopefully it'll be okay and you can finish. Hi, Emmanuel 05. I don't know what question you're talking about. Anyways, so a few things. This is the Definitely Readers Book Club for Wednesday night. We do the online ASL Book Club. It's where we read books that have deaf and hard of hearing characters, or books that are written by deaf and hard of hearing authors. This month's read in January is a hearing author with a CODA, which is a child of a deaf adult, and a deaf teen. So it's not, there is sign language, there's ASL on the page, and so it's gonna fit the Definitely Readers Book Challenge for the year, because it does show ASL on the page and it talks about signing. So we're going to use that to fit. So if you're doing the challenge and you read the book with us, you can count it. Hi, Sarah. And Heather, hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I have my computer up too, so that I can look at my notes for this month's read. Hello, hello. Okay, so this month is this book. It is a hearing author. There are deaf characters, and there is sign language. Next month, now we have not picked yet. If you're on the Discord, you can see there are 3 choices. We have Tracking You, I think that's right, Kelly Moran. That is a deaf male and a hearing woman, female. It is a romance because February's book in the challenge is a deaf, hard of hearing romance. So it is a romance book, and we were trying to make sure this month we didn't get like a very, very, very spicy book, because in November, I made the mistake in not reading the book beforehand, and it was very spicy and a little bit more than I had planned. Hello, Eden. I see Desi, so I'm inviting. She should be joining soon. Um, the second book choice for February is Turn on the Light So I Can Hear by Terry Canfield. And that is a hearing woman and a deaf man as well, but also it has a deaf teen too. So it is a romance, but I think that one is a really slow romance. So I don't know much about it. And then the third book is The Witch Who Trades with Death by C.M. Allengi. I don't know how to say that name. That one is, I think it's a sapphic romance. And it is a little bit more fantasy. It's not like rom-com. It's not that. So it's a different kind of choice, and I'm very thankful that we have that. So that actually came from Heather because we reached out. She's our mod for here. Oh, it's not sapphic. Okay, sorry. Um, and we contacted and we're like, hey, do you have any votes for like any recommendations for February? So that. For the choices for next month, the characters are all deaf or hard of hearing. It's not, the author is not, from what I've read. Oh, I don't know. Heather, can you respond? Because I don't know a lot about that book. Sarah, I read more too from that author to see if it would be a little bit different, and it was all the same. Silly Lily, I think that was your name. Yes, we do. It's on Fable, and it's called Definitely Readers. It's DEAFINITELY Readers. Um, we keep it updated with which book we're reading, but most of our comments are all on Discord because we found most people didn't use Fable. But we do have the book listed there. You can join there, and also the Discord link is there too, so you can access it that way. If you want, if you want to use Fable, I can start adding my notes there too, so you can see them. Okay. Every time that I try to join TikTok, it says that I need to restart. It's the same thing that happened last week. I don't know. Okay. So, hi. So I just finished discussing this book. Well, January's book will fit the challenge for ASL On Page, and then February's book in the reading challenge is A Deaf Hard of Hearing romance, and the choices to vote are on Discord. So you will have, I think it's Friday night it will close, or Saturday morning. And then, so we'll see which one wins on that day. And then, so we'll announce the book probably Saturday so that you can go and borrow from Libby or your library or order it, whatever you need to do. And we will set up the chapters for February to make sure that we're ready for February. Reminder, I'm KT James. I'm hard of hearing. I have hearing aids. I actually have them in tonight. Normally I'm done. Gonna be done with them. I'm simcomming, which is signing and speaking simultaneous. It's simultaneous communication. It is not full ASL. It's more PSC because it is signs with English grammar. And I'll be voice interpreting for Desi. Hello, I'm Desi. I am deaf. I have no hearing aids in. I am voice off. And I'm voicing for her, yeah. I am signing PSE2. Okay. So we're doing chapters 12 to 22. I finished it all already too, and some of you have, but we'll just stay with the plan. And we'll discuss 222 tonight, and then next week we will finish the full book. So we'll do 23 through 42, and then there's 2 epilogues. Yeah, that. So that's interesting because there is a Warren epilogue. I'm still on page 1. Okay, so I read this summertime last year, right, Desi? Is that when I read it? And I just read it just for fun, not for analyzing. And it's always it's every time we say, like, when we read a book for just fun, just for like a quick read, like not really like paying attention, like deep discussion, analyzation of the book, it's a good read. And I think that I had given it like 3.5 stars. I had a lot of like issues with what I read for in chapter 22, and I was just like, with this book, yes. So I just feel like maybe if I read it like now, it would be like 2.5, maybe 3 stars right now, maybe. But so we're discussing it. So this book is about it is a romance book. Um, it's about 2 different like sets of siblings who are taking care of their younger siblings. But in so they can do that, they have to do what's called like team up, where basically they can live together with a different group to they are matched to someone because they need help to they need financial help, they need building help, and it's good for them so that they can take care of their siblings like they want to. They just can't financially or where they live, like their housing situation. It's not good enough. So, Chloe, we're using just Chloe, is taking care of her newborn baby sister, Willow. And then Warren, the male, Warren, he is taking care of his 15-year-old brother who is deaf, Luke. And they said he had a sign name, but they didn't show or they didn't describe it in the book. Um, I was reading the bands and I was yawning a lot, and so all of a sudden it hit me, and I'm exhausted. Desi, your shirt is cute. So when we stopped, so at the beginning in chapters 1 to 11, you meet Chloe's mom, her birth mom, because she was adopted. Um, and you meet her birth mom right after she had the baby because and like she's like, I want you to take care of it. And she's like, I'm not letting this baby what happened to me happen to the baby. So that's her start to the process. So they meet, like Chloe and Warren meet, they agree to like, live together. And Warren says, I don't want any help. You do your own. I keep to myself. We're separate. We just live together. Maybe. Yeah, that's true. But I feel like it could have asked sensitivity readers. It said she got. Yeah. Yeah, because we got asked, Samantha Christie asked us for Blake and Maisie. Maisie. So Samantha Christie is a hearing author that we were able to do a sensitivity read 2 years ago now, I think. 1 minute. And she wanted to give the characters a sign name, but knew that as a hearing author, she couldn't. And so she asked us, like, what would we do? So we helped create those sign names. And she described it in the book. My heater stopped working. It is cold in here. Oh no. Do you have a blanket? Okay. So it got unplugged. So uh, Warren is like, I don't want any help. That's fine. I want to do it myself. I'm just going to live here with you. And so I'm just talking about catching them up from last week. So last week, so Warren doesn't want any help, wants to keep it alone, and it's just you see her struggles with having a new baby in the house, like she's exhausted, she's trying to do it herself, and finally Warren says, well, let me just hold the baby, you go shower. And she's like, I feel like a new woman. And that's really the catch up from last week. There was not a lot that happened. Like it was more background. You did see like Chloe's like comments to her, like into herself, like, oh, he's hot, or like whatever. And like reading it again this week, I almost feel like, so she's supposed to be what, 24, right? Her age is 24. It feels like she feels like she's reading as like 16, 17. Like, and maybe that's because she didn't have a lot of like friends growing up. She was not really involved. She's not a lot of experience. Maybe that's why, but I was feeling like I was reading it again this week and I was like, hmm, the inside commentary feels really young, but her, yeah, that's true. Eden, her adoptive parents didn't let her experience anything. Oh, immature. Yeah, so she's emotionally immature. And don't forget that Calvin, he was trying to flirt with her. And so she had Warren and then Calvin. And it was like, I think is trying to make it be a love triangle, maybe. But here's my thing. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm like ragging on the book a little bit tonight, and that's not really what I'm trying to do. I guess I'm just not enjoying it the second time. um it's just different. It's a different word. We're analyzing, yeah. And it's not, no, we're not being negative, but we are analyzing it. So in the later chapter, I was thinking, because uh Calvin is flirting with Chloe and she does not recognize that. Is she actually interested in him, or does she get his number because he was the nurse for Willow and she wants to ask questions? So I have a question for me. And Sarah, I think Sarah, Lady, yeah, Lady Night, Ellen. Yeah, yeah. Since both of you have read it the second time around and you didn't like it, what is the biggest reason? For me, my top one is the plot holes. I found reading it again, I was just like, that and the immaturity of what the character is supposed to be doing. Like they're supposed to be taken care of and being an adult for their siblings. And it just doesn't feel like they are. Noticed some plot holes that it doesn't really match. And I was just like, okay, we'll wait and see what Sarah's response is. But uh, okay, so she said, technically, I didn't reread this one, but I read another book by this author, and the writing seemed okay weaker the second time through. Okay, from me, maybe. My husband is training on his bike, and so he has music on. Is it loud? I can't hear it. I can tell him to stop. So maybe. Normally, no. It's normally Panic at the Disco or something. Okay, sorry. Um, okay, so it seems intriguing, and then you read it again, and it's just. What is that? Okay, yeah, that. Okay, so we caught you up to, because it's really short chapters. They're not long. It's a really easy read, just when you're analyzing it. Anyway, so chapter 12. Chloe, she's taking Willow like out of the house for the first time. She's strolling along and she notices Luke is not in school. And so she sits at a table and just stares until he notices her. Wait, what'd you say? I missed it. Yeah, Luke. Funny because she was just like strolling along and I'm outside and it's perfect. And then she goes, I'm just imagining that in my mind. And she goes, oh, what is he doing? Let's go sit over there. And she's like, looking through her phone and staring at him. And then Luke notices her and he's like, eh. So he's smoking. I saw you. You got caught. You're busted. So he's smoking. And he's out of school. He's not like he is skipping school. He's not there. So she does not text Warren. She's not responsible for Luke, is what she said. But she feels like maybe she should have. So like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it out of school? So I felt like she was staying there to remind him, you need to go back to school. Not, and she thought he was going to go back, and he does not. He comes back to the apartment and he's talking with her, and like I feel like I understand. I can see both points. Like he needs a person that's not his brother to talk to about things, but at the same time, she's the adult. Like she should have told him, text your brother, let him know. Like, so you've already skipped school, just tell him, hey, I skipped school today. Can we talk about it later? And that's it. Like, could have said that and got, in front of everything that happened after. Should she have told Warren? Probably. Just said, hey, she could have done like, hey, Warren, did Luke have an early, like, dismissal today? Like, did he have it early? She could have like played it off. Yeah, I agree. She could have. I did like that she did say, "You need to tell him, or I will." It needed to be expanded a little bit more because, like, you need to call him right now. Yeah, you need to call him right now. But she didn't do that. I do think. Okay, two things. Well, one thing. She was being respectful to Warren, saying that he is dealing with Luke, like she is not like responsible for Luke. So for that, Warren blowing up and saying, you should have told me, and she was like, you told me I'm not, like, I don't need anything to like responsible for Luke. Like, what do you want? Like that part, it's hard when someone is just like, I don't want any help, nothing to do with you, just leave us alone. And then she wanted help, and like, how can you decide? Yeah. It was a very, very hard place to be. Like there was not a good choice to make. Do you think from that it came some rules where they agree to help each other a little bit? So like if you see Luke out, let me know. If you need to borrow my car, let me know. Like, like a little bit more helpful for each other, not just, you know, individuals. So Warren didn't expect Luke to do that. So that's a different thing. I think Lala was saying that she wanted more of Luke in the story, and I do too. Like I remembered seeing Luke a lot more, but it's just a little bit that you see him. I have figured out I do like the different font for the sign language. I think it's interesting. And then it helps because there is more like internal dialogue. So having that slanted is it's helpful to have the sign language in a different font. So I do like that. And I want to add with that, I like it too. I think it's because it helps us to break our eyes and go, okay, oh, okay, just have it broken a little bit. I don't know what you call that. Yes. It is a conflict with the budding romance, just a little bit. Yeah. So at the end of chapter 12, there was a comment that said, that Chloe said, if I can do anything for Will or Willow, it'll be supporting her choices as she grows up. They will be like, the choices will be hers, after all. So that sentence, I really like that. And specifically because I'm a mom, I have two kids, 7 and 4. And one of my biggest things that we really try is to give as many choices as possible for them to have. So I may not like I may not like their outfit choice, but who really cares? They like it. Like letting them choose as many things as they can because there's not a lot of places where they can have a choice right now. They're young. So I really liked like how she said that. So like if they grow up like and they want to be a dancer, great. If they want to be a teacher, great. If they want to be an illustrator, perfect. You can do whatever you want as long as you try and you follow what you want to do. And I want to tell them you have to go to college to do this. No. Like if you don't want to go to college and you just want to work, fine. Up to you. So that was one of my favorite quotes too, and I put that down. And then also, this one too that was related. She said, perhaps parenthood is only about yourself on the putting yourself on the back burner. So that parenthood is about both giving choices, letting them decide, and also putting yourself on the back burner. Okay, but a caveat, self care is important too. So if you don't have um, enough energy or like mental spoons, you can't help your kids. You can't be a good parent. So like having yourself be on the back burner for your dream, like your dreams or whatever, okay, but also at the same time, please, for me, this is my comment, self-care, your mental health is important. You need to have that to be a good parent. Sorry, not sorry. Yes, that. Eden, basic wellness for yourself, or you're not gonna, it's gonna run out. Yeah, that. Okay. I probably missed some comments. Desi, did I miss any important comments? No, I was trying to focus and ask you, wait, and I missed what you said at the beginning, but it's fine. So you're just talking about self care. So I just said a caveat like to that quote. Yeah, that's what I missed. Okay. Um, yes, 100% agree because I think many of us typically or easily forget. I'm so worn out. I'm so tired. I don't notice what you're doing the things that you love anymore. And so it's a big balance. Yeah. Um, so there was in chapter 13, it also said that like the reason why Warren was telling Luke, like, keep yourself separate, like, don't get connected, don't have like feelings for Chloe and Willow. And it's because he knew that they were going to like leave the cohabiting, the co-parenting in January, and he didn't want Luke to lose another important person in his life. Um, so that was why I think he was so grumpy. Maybe. Yes, hope. Parents who take care of themselves, they also model that for their kids as they're growing up. You're right. Chapter 14? 14? Wait. Chapter 13. What did we miss? Oh yeah, Warren came home and he was just screaming and yelling. He was angry. And she was just like, Willow, okay, I agree, fine. Yeah. I feel like so far we what we've seen of Warren, he is hot and cold. So in the next chapter, I think we realize why. I think he's jealous of the nurse, Calvin. Um, so there's a comment. Sorry. I just wanted to add a quote. When he is angry, I liked this quote. It said, I breathe to remind my system I have the right to take space here. Oh, he can be pissed, but he can't make me feel uncomfortable in my own home. I refuse to give him that power. That is a good quote. That is a good quote. Okay. Chapter 14. Uh-huh. Yeah, they discussed, both of them had a discussion. They apologized. And then chapter 14. So Warren is nice and lets her borrow his car so she doesn't have to take 3 buses to go to the doctors for Willow. Now, the question, was he nice because he wanted to be helpful, or did he want, like, what is it, quid pro quo? Like, where, hey, I want friends to come over, but you can borrow my car. I think it was, yeah, at first, yeah. And then he was just like, hey, it's my birthday, but it was not thinking. I don't know. I don't know. Like, now he did he did say, like, going forward, Fridays seem to work, so you can use it to go to the doctor's appointments. So, like, he did he did let her keep using it. Okay, good. But anyway, so she drives them to Luke to school and then Warren to his work. And his work family is so nice. They know all about her and Willow. And she's just like, "You told them about us? Really?" Um, so Eden, I agree. He has more concern for Willow, more care for Willow than he shows. Yeah, that. She also gets to meet his work people. They're really nice. And at the same time, he is talking about, oh, nurse or scrubs, I think he called him Calvin, right? I think he's a little bit jealous. That's my thoughts. The short chapter, not a lot that happened. You just meet the work people, and then but she did find out that his friends are close to him that have nicknames. Yeah. Ram. I want one. I want a nickname. It was a very short chapter. Oh, that's true. It does say that. So it does say that he was proud of the baby when his work friends, people, they met. Like he was like, oh, like introducing, oh, this is Willow. Like, look, you can see the baby. Excuse me. Okay. So the doctor's appointment. Whew, it was not very good news. So with her blood pressure and seeing her heart, it was still had, it did not close, the hole did not close. So Willow's, she was born early. Her mom was doing drugs, um, or alcohol or something, and so it was alcohol. She had fetal alcohol syndrome, right? Yeah. Um, so she had issues. So that's why she has doctor's appointments. It was really sad. Hopefully, I don't know, like they're saying she should be okay. Like we see improvements, but it's not great yet. So just schedule more appointments. The good news is she has a job, like Chloe has a job that's very flexible, like because she's in marketing and graphic design, so she doesn't have like an 8 to 5 job. So she can take care of her sister a little bit easier, I feel like, because of the job she has, which is good. Um, we find out that Calvin cancels the date with her. Um, every Friday. Yeah, every Friday. So Eden, that's one of the things like that felt like a hole, like a plot hole in the book. Because she had a lot of appointments, and then all of a sudden she only has one appointment on Fridays. And it just didn't fit with the reading before, like the previous chapters that we already read, so it was just a little bit awkward, I felt like. um so after the appointment, she goes to pick up Luke and she honks her horn. And she's like, it was funny. She was laughing. She goes, "Oh, he's deaf. I'm dumb." Now, Lala said in here that most deaf and hard of hearing have some a little like hearing, so they could hear like barking, like horns, barking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not that. Um, and like they could. Some people could hear. Um, but it was also, I think, more of a hearing thing to show that you forget about um, being around a deaf person. So not only that, in the car, she was driving and she was making conversation with him, and he said no signing. The rules is no signing, and I was just like, what? Uh, okay, but that is very calm. Many deaf people are driving with their leg or signing with one hand. Yeah. But now I do say sometimes when I am driving, hold on, let me focus for just a minute. Let me focus for just a minute. And then, okay, what? And I take some breaks. I do the same thing, but no signing. Yeah. It it didn't make sense. Yeah, he could have wanted quiet time. So for me, with my kids in the car, we have, the mirror, and I read their lips or they sign some and I'm signing back and talking to them. But at nighttime, if it is dark, if it is raining, I tell them and they're just talking or they're trying to sign and I'm like, I can't see you. I'm driving. I was like, no. So we play music and I'll let them just like, sing. But there's no way. And they're like, well, we can turn on the light. And I'm like, no, it's dark out. It's raining. I need to focus on driving. No. So and then immediately after that, like when they picked up Warren, he started signing in the car. Oh, I think yeah, yeah, true. So, do you think that Luke lied about the rules because Warren never said anything about it? I don't know if it was a full lie. I think sometimes, like Warren says, like, no signing right now, like, in the car. Like, I think that he could, but personally, I feel like he just didn't want to talk about, like, he didn't want to talk about the girl. She's like, ooh, who's that girl? Tell me. And he's like, no signing in the car. Yes, Sarah, like being flexible with the truth. Yeah, not a full lie. But it is easier for like, passengers to sign to each other and not the driver. That is true. I just, because my experience growing up and hanging out with deaf and going to a deaf church and deaf community and you're getting in the cars with deaf people, I've seen signing all over. And I'm paying attention, trying to pay attention to everything. And it's just not like how it's not possible how you can drive and sign. I've seen people like how they sign. So maybe because she's hearing, and so she's more focused on driving. I don't know. Okay. I want to like take a pause. In the start of the book, okay, so there was an author's note at the beginning of the book, right? And it talks about, Luke uses ASL. Thank you to the deaf community and the sensitivity readers for like helping with the deaf experience. So my note that I just want everyone to know, my deaf experience, Desi's deaf experience is not all the same. So for the broad, most is fine to say like the deaf experience, but there are things that we could miss or that other sensitivity readers can miss because they never experienced that or never did it that way. So it's just something to like keep in the back of your mind that yes, there is a sensitivity reader, but there are some things that you may not agree with because that's not your deaf experience, right? Sarah, I agree. Chapter 16. We ready to discuss the party? I was very awkward. So she is awkward. So at the end of the chapter, the whole thing is awkward. Yeah. So first, Bryce is there. And she is staying in her room. And then she's just like, Bryce and Matt, their good friends are just like, oh, who are you? They had some attitude. The whole thing was just not like she was coming down to hang out in the first place, or I don't know. Well, she never told Warren that her date was canceled. So, not until that night. So, she is in her room. She's like, oh, the party's loud. And she goes, I have to go to the bathroom. So, she changes her clothes and she goes down the stairs. And he goes, and, Warren is talking. Yeah, she has a date. They're going to go stay in her room. And you know, she's thinking, wait, did I invite Calvin here for sex? Is that what he thought? Okay, so I read it again. She never said her room. She said, "Do you want to like stay in and watch a movie when Willow sleeps?" The TV is downstairs. They use her laptop like when he does come. So like anyways, I just thought that part was funny. So she changes her clothes and like she like tries to like get herself invited to the party again. I think both made things awkward and they're just like going around each other. Um you don't have to, you can stay for the party, you don't have to go change. Just letting him know Willow is here. So it's just made conversation, small talk about it. Yeah. They never, like, I don't know. It's just very weird. So, and then what happened? Okay. I have a few things to say about that, but that's really chapter 17. So in chapter 16, Chloe notices that Bryce and some of his friends are they're doing drugs. And she's just like, nope, not in this house. She was like, get out. Like, she was like, we do not do that. And then, and like, I mean, she explains, like, we have two young kids here, or not adults, kids here who can be like, not stolen, yeah, taken away because of you if they find out. No, no drugs in the house. Like, no. Alcohol, fine. And they were just like staring at her, like, what? And Bryce was like, called her an awful name. Yeah. And he's just like, are you gonna, he was telling Warren, you gonna let her talk to me like that? And Warren just like, just froze. I mean, it, she handled it really well. I was applauding her, like, and she was like, get out, get out. And they did. And then she says, wow, 20 minutes. And I joined the party and I ruined the party. And I'm cracking up at that like line. I thought it was funny. Oh, she was pissed. And then chapter 17, Warren explains like why he froze. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My thing, I have two things. One, okay, they're Bryce's friends. Fine. But if you know Bryce does drugs, why are you hanging around with him? You know he would bring it. You know how he acted with Chloe before when he helped you move. Why? Hold. I think you might have to change your character name, Bryce. My character's not named Bryce. No. My niece. I thought you were talking about writing a character, Bryce. No, no. My niece's name, her middle name is Bryce, but that's what she uses. But she's a girl. Was the other character a boy? A boy? Sarah? Is it only boys? Okay. Good night, Heather. Thank you for joining. Okay. Okay. They're both boys. Okay. So, anyways, so that's my first thought is you know how he is. Why would you invite him? And then you find out they're all his friends. And you're just like, of course. There's another one. Which one was that one? Oh, I think she has a blind series, right? Is that the one that you read recently? Do you know if it's the same author, but it's called Make You Mine? I don't know. So, Eden, I agree. When she says, I say this with love, but you have shit friends. Absolutely. Oh, it was a sled hockey. Okay, that sounds cool. Was it very spicy? Because both ones that I've read of hers, of theirs, okay, yeah, it was spicy. Okay, before we continue, still on that. Yes, I agree. I think it's because of his story about his mom that is very sad. And unfortunately, she passed away to ODing on his birthday. And so, knowing that kind of life that he grew up in, maybe he thinks he could help Bryce. I don't know. I don't but freezing that explanation, yeah, that like that explanation is fine. Is my point was more after that. You knew how he acted. Why do you and you knew you have your brother and you want your brother there. Why did you act like that? Um, you're fine. Yeah. So we always take rabbit trails. You're good. I know that was a good quote. So, page 108. I never hated you, not even close. You're not the problem here. So sweet. Um, so now, okay, so after the party, and the freezing and the explanation, they have a kissy part and they're making out and Luke shows up and what he says is just awful. He says, what happened to not getting attached? If you mess this up, I'll be in another group home before you can get your dick in your pants. And like, I mean, his feelings are very valid. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Because he's right. Like, if they mess up the situation and they don't have, like, they can't work together, like, that's why he said, like, but I do agree. He told her, you're not the problem here. Like, I've never hated you. He wanted to date her before, like when he met her. And it just, so right now, um, just had a thought. I don't think CPS ever gave them rules. You can't date, no. So there's no rules, but if something happened and they dated and they broke up and the home life just got really wild, yes, he would have to leave and go to a group home. Willow would go to a different care. Like they would lose because they would not have the cohabiting, like the partnership team. So that. Do you see the comment from Eden? The imagery of eavesdropping on sign language from a safe distance. It's funny. That's very normal for a deaf culture, speaking in a sign language. Oh, so at the end of that chapter, so Chloe gets a very special name. It was really cute. I liked it. Dove. I agree. Sarah, like the story probably would have worked better if they were not in like living together, but in a support group. Um, the captions. I mean, the comments. are a little bit slow for me. Warren was trying to pull her back downstairs for more with the text messages. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, hope that's a good thing. Like maybe instead of just two together, it could have been more like, three or four different, like, feel like a little, okay, maybe overwhelming, maybe a little bit. True, maybe. Yeah, in a group setting. Um, okay, so in chapter 18 is the next morning. Chloe is telling herself, my strategy is to be bold, direct, and clear. And he hears her. She forgets that he can hear her. But she's walking it back, friends, because she knew that Luke was upset. She knew that he was right, that they have to work together. Like, let's just be friends. I need it to work for Willow. Like, let's wait until January. And so Warren says, okay, date night, January 14th or 15th. So there's a comment. So I agree. So typically it makes it hard for romance in a romance book to make the stakes higher than they need to be. Yeah. That. It does feel forced, the romance, a little bit. There's all these comments about, oh, he's hot, or he, looks good, she's beautiful. But okay. Um, but after Chloe says like a boundary, we can't do this, like Luke is right. He's like, I don't care. I like you. I want to date you. Fine, fine. So they're still flirting with each other and he's playing with her. And then she's like, I'm really being honest here. I'm being serious. Um, he's not making it easy for her. And then she gets the call. And she accepts the call from Calvin. Why would she pick up the phone if she like set up a date with Warren for January? Why would she take a call and accept a date now? I think she was maybe like flustered, like wasn't paying attention to whatever was happening. Maybe. Maybe. So I wrote down, I said, uh-oh, Calvin is calling her, and she is quick to accept and agree. And Warren just immediately shut down. Um, and he's like, cancel the date. So he is all over the place. So he typically shuts down. That is his strategy. It's kind of annoying. I do think that she wasn't paying attention to what Calvin said and what he was asking, because I don't think she realized that he was asking for a date. Yeah, she should have done the baby card. No, I can't. Oh, okay. Um, there was a part, it was on page 117. It says, too much, Chloe, always too much. And that just like hit because she talks about it, I think in a later chapter. Um, she talks about, I think it's the next chapter. No, I think it's in two chapters. Her mom like emails her, and in that chapter, she's talking about her mom said that she tamed Chloe, and so she felt like she had to be less, like she had to tone down herself. And so just reading that like every time, just kind of like, I just feel awful about that. So that was in chapter 20. Okay. So soon. But we missed, yeah. So Calvin went on the date, or Chloe went on the date. They watched what? Twilight. So whatever. And Warren is still trying to like flirt with her. He's just a little bit jealous. And then Chloe, they finished the movie, and Calvin gave her a kiss. So Warren kissed her first. And it was a good kiss. She was just like, "Oh my god!" So it's a very hot kiss, and she said, "We kissed like we were bantering." Yeah. Uh, and then with Calvin, she just felt like nothing. Well, she missed him first. They like bumped, like noses, right? And then it's just an awkward. And then she did like a hug. And it's just weird. But he caught them. He caught Warren flirting with Chloe in the kitchen. Yeah. And then that email came with the mom in chapter 20. I was so angry. I was so angry because it didn't feel good with me. That's her adopted mom. And that email seems like passive aggressive. So typically, I think that that is a mom personality, but I also didn't like, we tamed her. Yeah, I didn't like that. So, I mean, her adopted mom is also a mom, so that passive aggressive is real. Like, I mean, it happens. I wrote that I felt like the adoption, I think we discussed it lightly last week, that the adoption only was because they wanted to say that they helped a kid. They didn't really want a kid, is how it felt. Like it was an obligation, not a want, not a desire. Um, but yeah, like when she said like she, started like toning down her clothes, her attitude, and she just became less of herself, that and her mom apologized. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah. Um, And then also in this chapter, Warren apologizes for interfering with the date. And he tries to explain he's never really had a person he trusts. Like they've always like disappointed him, but he wants to try. He wants to try. Um, and she's like, no, let's just be friends for now. And he says, for now, he'll accept that. And then he tells her, like, show me your messy parts. And I love that because she says, I already, like, make myself less. Like, and he's like, no, 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 no. Show me your messy parts. And I was like, ah, I liked that part. Yes, Eden, you're doing a good deed. We adopted a kid who needed help. Chapter 21. Okay, so it was funny that for Halloween, Chloe dressed up as Poison Ivy, right? And then we found out that Warren had a poster like when he was younger. That was funny. I liked that part. I feel like after that Halloween part, it was just like plot, like missing time. Yeah. So I think it said like the next 2 weeks like passed and like Warren wasn't flirting. I think it said it like a few weeks or something. Um, yeah, because and then you like see her friend. It was just a weird chapter. I don't feel like it. I maybe it was missing a chapter. I don't know. So I put down. So I was hoping to see more of Luke because I really liked his character. And then I was missing some things. And then when Warren was putting the car seat and things in the mirror for the car, just in the mirror for the car, and Chloe notices little things like that that count. That was a nice gesture. So Eden, Desi agrees with that. Yeah, that like the it's the little things, and she says like right now it seems like Friends is working, but she's noticing the small things that he's doing, and I'm just like, that's sweet. Um, I feel like the friend part was just added in and has no real point because she never told her friends before, like who she was. And so maybe it's showing that she's growing and, like she's changing and she's becoming more of an adult and telling things. I don't know, but it just felt like, why is this here? Yeah, it didn't really fit. That's my personal opinion. I mean, I liked her friend. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Emily and Lacey, I think Lacey. Um, so I didn't really fit in there. So Sarah said she thinks that she was setting up the next book. Is there a second book? I should probably know that. Oh, okay, okay. The next book is about one of the friends. Okay. So Eden. So she said it's something that she overcame. Yeah, authentic exchange. I did like that. So that was in so okay, hold. At the end of the chapter, Chloe says that's something else I need to talk to Odette. Why do you need to talk to Odette? And it was talking about she wanted to be called mom or she felt like a mom. Yeah, you're raising your sister. You will be her mom. Like, why do you need to talk to Odette? Now, chapter 22. The authentic exchange is like no one is owed your history, but there is trust in telling. Great. Quote. Everything else about this chapter I hated. No, and okay, let me explain. This is the biggest, like, in my opinion, this is a plot hole, like, big one. So it's around Halloween or right after, right? So Willow was in the hospital for almost 3 months. So I guess it was around July when her birth mom, had the baby. So that's when she started getting clean, right? No more alcohol, drugs, nothing, right? She gave up her rights. She signed it. Most states have a revocation period of 48 hours to 30 days when you can say, no, I want to take it back. I don't want to give them up. 30 days. She signed her rights away. She does not have the right to see her kid. She can request it, but 100% does not have the ability to say, I want to see my kid. You have to let me see my kid. And then on top of that, it said that if you want your mom to have like supervised visits, that's fine. Just let us know. We'll make sure that there are. No, she can't. She's an addict. Like, she can't have none. And then also, she doesn't have the right to have the visits. Like, this part is not researched at all. Like, because I double checked because I was like, wait. She can't just say she wants to visit her daughter. She gave him up. That's not her daughter now. And actually, like the year, yes, she would have to go into foster care for a year before she can be adopted. Yes, that's right. But the mom, she signed him to Chloe. Chloe has the ability to say no, she can't visit. And then they would go to the judge to say, okay, we'll let her visit, but supervised only. I was just like, I was reading this and I was like, this is not how it works. So yeah, so she didn't do a lot of a lot of research. The only thing is since there's no father's name, technically he could get a DNA test and then he could get the like visitation rights because he did not sign them. But before he would have to have a DNA test. So like this part really frustrated me because I was reading it and I was like, no, that's not how it works. So Sarah, maybe in Canada it's different, but I did double check the states, so maybe, but I don't think it's that different. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But anyways, Chloe gets a call or an email, and then from Willow's social worker, and then calls her, and she says, "Hey, your birth mom is clean now. 3 months." Okay. Um, unless she was in a very intensive rehabilitation. Who's paying for it? So, anyways, she has not officially requested visitation. Officially requested visitation. We only have 14 days to comply. No, wrong. So, Chloe gets overwhelmed and like she's panicking and she's like, can she take the baby? So, I mean, if she decides like to do it, she could. But since she signed it away, like she signed her name is there on the form, she would have to go to the judge to get him back before she's adopted. When she's adopted, no, can't. Yeah. So I feel like it was forced, like tension, like will she take her? Like will she get her or will she not? Will she be clean? Will she not? Like yes. But that chapter just whew, I did not like that chapter. No, my notes were like, no, you can't do that research. um, anyways, but she also had like, yeah, and it triggers a panic. Yes, it triggered a panic attack. She had a flashback of what happened, like growing up, which was really sad. And what happened is when her mom was doing drugs, and then the police were there, and CPS was there, and she was trying to hide behind the cop, and her mom's just like, come here. And it's just very traumatizing. Yeah. Um, That's true. Sometimes you just want the like day to day like romance where it's not like high like tension and all the drama. You just want the little things that like Warren is doing. It was very hard. It was very hard to read it. And then the social worker emailed her back because she apologized. She says, sorry, like I just got overwhelmed. Social worker emailed her back. I would say she gave her some like hope. At the same time, I still feel like she's in the wrong, and that's not what will happen. But yeah, so that is where we have ended for chapter 22. So next week we'll be reading 23 through the end. It's about 20 chapters next week, but again, they're short chapters, so it shouldn't be bad. But we will finish it all. We'll have a lot to talk about on that. Yeah. And then is there any like questions that or anything that I missed, we want to talk about or not? No, just that. I know typically we have red deaf characters, main characters in October. Secrets don't stay buried. that was a deaf main character. And I felt like typically hearing characters with deaf side characters or side characters, I feel like it's hard to find deaf world with deaf culture. That's why I was just like, Luke, oh, cool. I like him. He's young. He's a teen. He's signing and going to school. Oh, and I want to see more of Luke instead of Warren and Chloe. Oh, they have a romance. Okay, hold on. I want to come back over here and I want more of him. So, because I can't spoil it, but at the last chapters, I was a little bit angry. Like you said, on chapter 22, on one of the chapters, I was just like, "Argh!" It's right there. And then I just felt like that character deserved attention too. And that's the hard thing. So, yes, we have a book list, right? We have a book list that has a lot of different characters, and some of them sound interesting, some of them we've read and some we've not. But it's not until we read it like and analyze it that we can really understand if it's a good representation, if it's enough representation, because sometimes it feels like it's just not enough. Like we want more for it to have the deaf and hard of hearing characters. I'm hoping, and we're hoping, like this year with the reading challenge, we can read some like teen, like the middle grade and find one. Like one of my favorite middle grade books was Song for a Well by Lynn Kelly. And I don't know how many people have read it, so that might be an option that we could read it because it is a wonderful representation. Or we can choose a new one. And so we're not trying to only read romance books. That, unfortunately, most of the books that have good deaf representation, they typically tend to have romance in them. So I know that next month is going to be another romance because that fits the thing, right? The challenge. And then the month after is fantasy or sci-fi. If you have a recommendation, you can let us know. You can reach out to Desi or I on Discord or whatever and just tell us, like, hey, like this would be a good one. I know Heather and I were talking about the Witches collection. That would be a good one. That would be a fantasy one. And then also I found another one today that I thought would be a good. So like we're already trying to search and find to fit. Um, I was, and also if you know any other like deaf blind representation, that one was going to be a hard month because I only know of one. Um, a sign for home. So if you, or we could be written by a deafblind. Oh, that's true. That's true. So thank you, Sarah. Yeah. So we wanted to do the challenge so that we don't focus only on romance or we don't focus only on, young adult or whatever. We wanted to open it up so that we could find more books that have a good representation. I did want more of Luke in this book already. But at the same time, I understand he's the teen, he's not the focus of the book. And next time we'll know better. It's like last year we read Mr. Spy, Mr. Nice Spy. Yeah. And we are like, yeah, oh, cool, adventure. Oh, the main character is hearing. Well, no, he's the main male character, but it's not dual point of view. And we wanted it flipped. So if you focus on only one character, I prefer him. He's funny. She's just like, okay. So we prefer that. So we wish the author had, more than one perspective on doing this, and that kind of thing. Yeah. Um, Sarah said yes, that it has so much potential. Okay. Um, okay. Now, um, so don't forget to vote. Also, if you remember the daisy chain reaction by AC, she has a new, like a pen name now, is AC Nightingale. It's harder to finger spell. Um, she has a new book that released in January 1st. Is the Daisy Chain Collapse. And that story is about Violet, which was the deaf sister. So that one is full deaf, not, side character. And that's the second book. Yes. So that recently released, is really good. I'm really excited for her on this book. So I will be doing my review soon. I have not filmed it, but I've read it. So that one is released, and then in February, I will let you know when it happens. But JD Mills has their second book will be releasing. We should not have come here, I think is the name. Yeah. So there are more releases for books that are written by hard of hearing and deaf authors soon that we've already read, so I'm excited. And so we'll finish the book next week. Don't forget to vote. I don't think I had a third. Anyway, any last minute questions? Desi, you were gonna say something? Yeah, I was gonna say that the Daisy Chain collapse, I'm really excited to review that one too. I haven't posted anything yet. No. Yeah, I'm gonna post it probably this weekend. Maybe tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I will probably post it this weekend, but it's a little bit late. It was supposed to be before January, and it did not. But I have realized now I am going to be changing the sign language in my book to a different font because I did really enjoy reading it that way. I did like that. Um, No, I'm gonna wait. It's already sent to the editor, so when I get it back and I make the changes, I will edit it then. Yeah. Anyways, Mom, sure. AC Nightingale said that she would do a book signing. It is in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you're in that area, I don't know if she will travel around or just close by, but she will be there with both books available for like so her to sign. Um, I wish I told her I was like I wish I lived closer, but I'm not driving that distance. So okay, I think that's all. Anyways, happy Wednesday night, happy reading, and we'll see you next week. And stay safe for everyone who is going to get the winter storm this weekend. Yes, yes. Please stay safe. Okay. Bye.